Eventually, and I had a query. Black olive, green olive.
Well, we're here this morning, a very chilly morning, with the Mantell hockey brothers. Guys, perhaps you'd like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Richard Mantell. And I'm Simon Mantell.
And which one's the older of the two?
Obviously, I know. Yeah, no, it's me, unfortunately.
It's the older. Yeah, I'm 2.5 years younger than Rich.
Fair enough. And we're here at Greenwich Park, magnificent London backdrop. Of course, London, those Olympics are getting nearer and nearer, and you guys, God willing, fitness and form, will be part of the GB hockey team for the London Olympics. And you guys are getting better and better, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been going really well at the moment. Certainly our results have been going from strength to strength with current European champions. And sort of did very well out of the World Cup and finished fourth, just off the podium, unfortunately. But yeah, things are certainly moving in the right direction. And
from an England point of view, you also played for England in the Commonwealth Games, just recently finished in Delhi. About the worst position, wasn't it?
Yeah, very frustrating. It was a very sort of mixed tournament for us. We had some good experiences, and playing in Delhi in front of 20,000 spectators was pretty incredible. And but at the same time, we were very disappointed to end up in fourth position. It was, like you say, the worst position really you can end up in. We've had a few fourth positions, and the Commonwealth back in 2006 was my first tournament with England, so it was we ended up fourth then. So it was frustrating not to really capitalise on the fact that we have made these improvements, and we were ranked as the second best team there, and we ended up fourth. So it was certainly an underachievement really from our point of view.
Against India,
yeah,
and you lost the penalty shootout. Did you both score in that shootout?
Yeah, just
good pressure, guys.
Yeah.
You got to be the one not to score, do you, in a penalty
exactly.
shootout? Who was the one? You said just?
Well, yeah. So I took my penalty, and sort of as I stepped up, I saw the keeper had gone the wrong way effectively as I was taking it. So it's a bit of relief and put it in. So, however, well, do you want to talk through it?
No, mine. I effectively scuffed it, but it still went in. So that's the way it goes sometimes, I suppose. I think the keeper sort of was fooled by how slow it went. So
no, that's not. Come on, you're doing yourself an injustice. You've got to be very good to do a disguised scuff shot.
Sometimes
like that.
Exactly. No, it was one of those things. I think at least I scored. I sort of turned away, sort of half embarrassed that it went in, and but incredible amount of relief. Yeah.
Now it's unusual that two brothers should both reach such heights in sport. I mean, there's been a few, the Neville brothers, obviously in football, but it is quite unusual. Tell us about how that happened. Your father, significant hockey figure, isn't he? And I think your mum as well was hockey coach or hockey player.
Yeah, both our parents played a lot of sport. I suppose our mum played more tennis, and our dad more on the hockey side. And I suppose probably introduced us to the sport really. So we were fortunate enough to find that we were actually reasonably good at the sport. And I suppose from our point of view that was great, and a sport that we kind of enjoyed playing really.
But I mean, you're brothers, and I'm sure you love each other, and you'll be there for each other. But you're brothers, for goodness sake. I mean, you must have had 1,000 arguments, and now here you are, both as hockey players. I mean, the competitiveness in the garden when you were kids must have been horrendous.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that helped us sort of get to be sports people, and the fact that we competed at everything we did, whether it was sport or gaming cards or whatever. We'd always be extremely competitive, and probably not playing for the fun of things necessarily, more than just to try and make sure you beat your brother. But
did he used to get one over you most of the time in the early days? Maybe because of age, apart from anything else.
In the early days, until sort of I was about 10. No. I mean, of course, being the younger brother, Austin was on the.
It wasn't nice that he didn't sort of let you win because you're young. Obviously not.
You must be joking.
No, he didn't. But it's always. I think as a younger brother, you always try and beat your older brother, or at least try and get as good as him at things.
So presumably, being a considerably older brother, he sort of led the way, and I don't know whether you can say this, but he was sort of inspired you, maybe mentored you to follow. Does it work like that?
Mentor's a good word.
Let's not use the word mentor. No, I mean, of course, especially in things like in the hockey, because he was always in the higher teams, and you're always aspiring to get into those teams. And I was lucky that we played together at school, and then moved on to play together at club as well. So we're sort of always in similar teams, but I was always trying to improve and get into the under 18s, under 21s, international stuff that he was playing. He was already playing in, and I'd go along with my parents and watch him play in the junior international stuff, and it gives you something to sort of work towards.
Well, I mean, the story goes back to 1988, doesn't it? The Seoul Olympics, GB, of course, beat Germany 3-1. What was the quote? Where were the Germans? And frankly, who cares? Shuani, Taylor, and of course Sean Curley. I was there, believe it or not, and you were small kids watching at home with your mum and dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I suppose I was sort of 7, around that sort of age, so I would have been 4 or 5. And yeah, so we were young, and I guess like our dad had got us up in the middle of the night because it was in a different time zone, the final. And yeah, I think it's something that certainly sticks with you, and you kind of remember watching it, and yeah, that kind of perhaps was the first time when I'd sort of seen the Olympics and thought, wow, that's incredible. That's something I'd love to be part of, and obviously, what can be more motivating than seeing the British team winning the gold medal, in such great fashion. And I think, for us it was very motivational, and something that we really love to replicate.
Do you remember that? I mean, you were 4 years old.
I was 4, and I don't really remember the sort of event. I vaguely remember sort of being woken up and something about the Olympics and whatever. But I think I was too young to really understand what was going on, to be honest. I think we get asked the question a lot about references to 88 and to Curly, and of course that's a massive motivation for us. The fact that people are still talking about it now, so long down the line, shows that how much of an impact that made back then when they won a gold. And I think that sort of the realisation that we need to try and take up the mantle and try and get a medal ourselves.
This is what he did then, by the way. Take up the mantle. Take up the mantle. There you go. Now, talking about motivation, how about this one? Here we are, London backdrop, London Olympics. You're close, aren't you?
Yeah.
In terms of global terms.
Yeah.
Do you think development continues, home support, just the spur of competing in your own country could get you a long way?
Absolutely. I think as a group we've shown that we love playing under that kind of pressure and in front of big crowds, and we've had quite a lot of experience now of playing in front of big crowds, but always abroad. And I think coming to London, the Olympics is always something that gets British people together, and people are very passionate about British sport. So from our point of view, it's a fantastic opportunity really to play in front of big, passionate British crowds, which is what we all want to be doing.
Fantastic. Well, I can see it now. The final, England-Australia, penalty shootout. Simon scuffs it for the winner.
Yeah, that's fine, as long as it goes in.